Hi everyone, happy to be back today with this new release of Darktable 5.6. So for those of you that have already seen my previous video, I used the nightly build to demonstrate the different AI functions that Darktable was embedding into the 5.6 now version. And today I will not open actually as you see on the Darktable page, but I'm opening on the GitHub Darktable AI release because we will look at how do we use the different models that are today available for Darktable, especially on this video for object masking. So for those of you that already have went through the installation of Darktable 5.6 and looked at especially at the AI functions, or for those of you that have already seen my video on Darktable AI Masking that I will link here, you know that by default you have two different models available, but you can have actually 4 different models right now, and I'm pretty sure it will evolve, but at least for now you can have 4 different models to use for AI masking. So by default you will get the SAM 2.1 small, the segment VITB SAX2 HQ, and that's the two that are, I would say, present by default. But you can always download also the tiny and the base plus model of the SAM 2.1. And again, SAM stands for segment anything model, as it's written here. It's owned by Meta and it's open source data. And there is different size of model basically. So if we look down here, you see that the small model that is, I would say, by default available for you is 162 megabytes. Then you can, if you have a small computer, you do not have enough power, you can download the small one, that is 137 megabytes, but you can also go on the base plus model that is 294 megabytes. Then you have the SegNext here that is 403 megabytes, and that is also a different model. It's not a meta model, so it's supposed to behave a little bit different, and that's what we will look at today on 2 different pictures. And without further ado, I will just present them to you. So I have, I would say, for me, quite a clean image here with very delimited objects with the sky. And then, of course, for those of you that have seen some of my previous video, you will see that I'm using a lot of cows, actually. And here we'll use a second image of a cow. And I want to see how the different models are behaving with these airy things here, with a background that is not as clean as the other one, just to see how it behaves. So once again here, Darktable is enabling you to activate different models. They are not, I would say, available out of the box like that. You need to download them, and then you need to choose which one you want to do. For those of you who want to jump directly into the comparison, I will let you use the chapter and jump directly into the comparison of the different models. For those of you that want to know a little bit more about how to install the different models, I will just quickly show it to you. So basically, when you are on the release page that I was having here, and sorry, I will go back to the release page here. You can go on the release page here and you can download the DT model. Those DT models are downloadable files. Everything is in those models, and you can just quickly, once you have downloaded them, you can just go there, go to the settings parameter, go to AI menu here. If you have followed my different video, you will of course know that you need to enable the AI feature. Here I would advise you to choose instead of letting Darktable choose, especially with Mac. I know I've read some instance where sometime it would mess up if you would let your computer choose, or not the computer, Darktable software choose, sorry. So here I always use Apple Core ML, and then you can just download either by clicking when it's available or import file, browse to your DT model as it says here, and it will just install it very quickly. Once you have done that, the key here is to choose which model you want to enable. So two models for masking here in the task of masking cannot be ticked at the same time. So once you choose one, the other one will be deactivated. So I will, for the sake of the demonstration, go from what I would assume would be the less performant model, which is the tiny one, up to the small one, base plus, and then the SegNext part. I will not capture every time I will change this model. I will fasten it a little bit, or I will make it quicker a little bit so that you can see, but basically you go there. The beauty of it is first you choose what you want to use, but then it's also very quick, because here I was in the SegNext model here. Here I just tick tiny, I just close, and that's done. Then I will, of course, need to run again the analyze here for the AI object. It's running. Once it has run through, then you can click your object. Once again, for the sake of the demonstration, I will always click on the same spot. So for this cow here that I will demonstrate at the second phase, I will use this cross here. And then for the sky here, I will try to select the sky itself, and I would use this top point here. I know it's not exactly at the very precise pixel. I'm sorry, I do not have the ability to do it right now, but I think it's close enough to say that we are always clicking at the same spot, because it's part of the demonstration also to see how it behaves. I will go with the first one here. Once it's done, I will just show you the 4 different masking, and you can of course do a pause here and have a look at that. Now that we have compared the 4 different models for the simple case, we will do the exact same exercise, and as you remember from what I just said earlier, I'm always trying to click exactly on the same spot. So here I will use this bottom right cross just to select the cow, only the cow, and we will see how the different models are behaving. Once again here, a little bit more busy background, a more fussy, I would say, contour here. We know, and we read it, and I also spoke about it on my previous video on masking. The edge part is something that is not so, I would say, clean and kind of complex today for Darktable to manage. They say that in the next versions and the next iterations, I would say, of this 5.6, there will be some improvement here on this part, but I will let you judge how it behaves and how it will, I would say, suit the different images for you. So now that we have seen those 2 different images with the 4 different models, I have to admit that I came with the idea of this video, but I was pretty sure what would be the result. I was expecting the bigger the model would be, the, I would say, sharper or the more accurate the masking would be. I have to admit right now that it's not like that, and I think you have all seen, especially on the church image test, I think I was pretty surprised about the difference between the different model of the SAM2 version model. For me, the SAM2 small is not behaving better than the SAM2 tiny. The SAM2 base plus is, of course, a little bit better. So I think we are going on to this progression. I'm still doubting, honestly, if it's my protocol of testing, even though I know I exactly click on the same area. I'm wondering if I didn't missed one pixel and then it would modify things. And then the SegNext, I think for me it was quite clear that it was documented as better to work on the fussy areas like we have on the cow. And here I have to admit that the cow test was more behaving as I would expect, meaning being I would say rougher on the SAM2 tiny and getting better as we get a bigger model of SAM2, and finally going to SegNext with a full, I would say, a better picture. Once again, even with the very last version, we see that it's not perfect, and I emphasize it on my previous video on how to do the AI masking. I think it's still very important to keep it in mind. It's a good help. It will most probably make you move forward for 80% of the masking work. You still need to tweak those 20% masking, and we have seen that we can click on adding new areas, like for example here on the top left of the image I can just click here and it will add a little bit of this part. We can also validate by right-clicking this mask and then modify it as a vector mask. And I emphasized it already on my previous video, but I think it's worth saying it again. The vector part of this masking is very important. What does it mean? It means that you can always tweak, adjust your mask even after having worked on the initial AI masking. So you save your mask, you can reuse it, and you can tweak, modify your mask, extend it, move one point here. So it's very, very important. Once it's validated like that, it becomes, I would say, not red anymore, and you can move all those points here, all those nodes, you can drag them. Once again, sorry to go back to that for those that have already seen the previous video, but I think if you jumped on AI masking, you wanted to learn about the different models, I think it's still very important to emphasize the fact that, first of all, AI masking is not perfect for now. I'm sure it will improve by the time and by the different versions. And the second most important part, it's that we are speaking about vectorized mask. So it means that even though you have a first approach, you can always tweak and modify and adjust your mask, which is, I think, the best feature that you can have, because AI, as you all know now, is not perfect. You will not get something super sharp at the very first try. You may have to tweak, you may have to test different models, but then you can always modify things. That said, for me, I'm sorry, the objective of the video was to demonstrate what was the best model, and I have to admit that there is no best model for me. I think there is different models that you can use, and for me there is two decisions to take. First decision is the space and the power of calculation that you have on your computer. If you have a recent-ish computer, I think you can use the biggest model like I'm using with the base plus model of SAM2 or the SegNext, which is running okay on my computer. And then the second, I would say, question mark to have is to maybe, for me at least, have 2-3 models downloaded on your computer and test them based on the different cases, click on different areas, and of course come back here to the channel, go to the different forum, Pixellus and this type of forum, where you can always find what is the last literature around that, what is the last evolution. Go back to Darktable release of AI also to see if they go out with a new model, because it will improve, and we have seen a big step forward between this 5.4 and 5.6. But I'm sure for the 5.8 we will get even bigger move. So stay tuned. subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you want, leave me a comment for according to you what is the best or most, I would say, adapted model for your use case. I'm sure depending on what you shoot also you will shoot different model. And again, stay tuned for the next release and the evolution of this Darktable that is for me going in a very fantastic way. Thank you guys for watching and see you soon.